Hello, everyone. This is Imran Fahad from Bangladesh, from Inspiring Bangladesh. And this is the first time ever we are going for a collaboration, a cross border collaboration with none other than Harrish Sairaman from India.
Thank
Hello,
you very
Harish.
much.
How are you?
Very good. Thank you, Imran. And definitely a warm welcome to all participants over here. And
Yes.
thank you for joining in. And let's all enjoy this entire journey. And of course, Imran is going to guide us through the entire journey. So I welcome all of
Yes.
you again.
Exactly. As we know, we are going through a difficult phase in the history. I can say we are in a pandemic situation. All over the world are facing this terrible condition. In India, how you are facing and how you are like protecting yourself from this coronavirus COVID-19? Can you share your experience further?
So I think protecting ourselves definitely is one part of it, which I think the government also has set in rules and one needs to be aware of it. But more
Yeah.
than also, apart from protecting ourselves, the most important point is how we can actually utilize this entire crisis period and convert it into a breakthrough for all of us. Because,
Interesting.
as I say in all my sessions, that every prolonged challenge or crisis brings in an opportunity of a breakdown or a breakthrough. It's either going to make us stronger or it's going to make us weaker. While we know
Right.
a lot of people will go through a breakdown, there is also an opportunity of creating breakthrough through a crisis. And I think the way I'm handling this crisis right now is I'm looking at it as an opportunity that the universe has given me where it's completely broken my flow. It's
Okay.
given me tremendous amount of time to introspect on how life has really been going and whether I have been dealing with life in an appropriate way and can I be better. And I'm
Right.
utilizing this time to introspect so that once I am back, the future is way better than the past.
Awesome, awesome. And the most important thing, what we are facing right now, like everyone is pretty frustrated, staying at home, and the most important thing, like we need to focus in our mental health, which is pretty interesting and pretty important for preparing ourselves for the future. So, as you are taking different sessions for self development at the same time as a coach, what's your take on this mental health issue? If you can say a few words on this.
So before I come to the mental health issue or the challenge, I think everybody should understand one thing, that the lockdown phase is not creating frustration, is
Right.
not creating burden and problem. In fact, the lockdown phase is just bringing out things which have been suppressed within us. Because I remember when I used to do a lot of sessions for the corporates, one of the
Mhm.
complaints for a lot of people was, I hardly get time at home. And now in the lockdown phase, you are completely at home. And
Yes, yes.
one cannot see that opportunity. Vis-a-vis, we've seen a lot of people coming back saying that back at home is a little challenging. I want to go out. So I think from a mental health perspective, this is definitely challenging people to see whether you can really handle this phase and still be completely joyful at home.
Right.
If I look at my own story, in the last 3 years, I've been traveling approximately 25 days a month. So I've been at home
Correct.
only for about 4 to 5 days a month. And some people have been joking, saying that one reason of your successful marriage is you never at home. So you've always been outside. And I wanted to really see this because from the 12th of March, I've been only at home and I've been continuously checking with my children. And I've been, of course, child, the second one is very young, just 1 year old. I've been
Right.
checking with my kid and whether I've been checking with my spouse that I've been a good husband and I've been a good father during this lockdown phase or not. So I think if one is aware of their emotions, the
Right.
mental health automatically comes in place. And if at
True.
this point of time people are feeling frustrated or irritated, I think it's a tremendous opportunity to work on it. How to work on it is something that I'm sure, Imran, we will be discussing on those things
Absolutely. We will
in the
discuss on
webinar, of
this.
course. But I would
Yeah.
say it is during these challenging phases where one can become emotionally, physically, and mentally very strong.
Right.
Like, if you ever met two kinds of people in your life, one who is emotionally very strong and the other who is emotionally very weak, if you ask them one question, why are you like this? They both will tell us only one answer, and they will say, you have no idea what all I have gone through. That
Right.
means it's the challenging phase that makes an individual strong, and it's also the challenging phase that makes an individual weak.
Right.
It all depends on what we are doing in that phase, and there are multiple steps that one can really adopt during this
Right.
challenging phase to become mentally, emotionally, and physically strong, and which is something that I'm sure we will discuss as in when we progress in the entire session. I think right now, I think we're just warming up,
Yeah.
everyone.
Exactly. Like there are a number of audience are coming right now. They are commenting and asking different kinds of questions. So I'd like to ask everyone to share this live with your beloved ones, your friends and families. Already there are lots of questions. So we are inviting everyone to join this life-changing session, I must say. So you should experience this live with Harrish Sairaman, so that you can know more insights about human life. At the same time, we will give you so many tips and tricks through which you can prepare better for after COVID world. And as we say, this is the new normal. Staying at home, facing these kind of things, it's a new normal. So one thing I need to know in my personal, it's my personal question, like how you are like preparing yourself uh, about the after COVID world. Like this situation, one day it will be solved, inshallah, and by the grace of Almighty, everything will be solved. But how we will prepare ourselves for this after COVID world? What's your take on this?
I think, Imran, that's a very crucial question that you've asked. How can we really prepare? Because one thing that you definitely mentioned, inshallah, is it will end for sure. And that
Yeah,
is an
yeah,
extremely crucial point that everybody would understand and should understand, that this is going to end. But the question
right,
is, are we prepared in such a way that we will bounce back to really perform at its optimum state? Now,
right,
to really bounce back, there are three things that one will have to keep in mind. So let's look at
right,
life in totality. Our
right,
entire life can be divided in three parts. One is called as past, the other is called as present, and the
right,
third is called as future.
right,
Past, we cannot change. But the one thing that we all can do is learn from the past, because nobody can change the past.
right,
And an extremely important point that we all have to keep in mind is the way we behave today creates our future.
right,
However, the
absolutely.
master question for all people is the way we behave today depends on our future or past. What do you think? What kind of answers are people saying? Or Imran, what do you think? The way I am behaving today, do you think it depends on my future or it depends on my past?
Right, right.
What do you
True.
think? Yeah,
Like basically, but the way we are thinking, like the future is pretty important, but my present moment, the present will decide how I will act for the future. That's my take
absolutely.
on this. Right.
And so the question is, the way I am behaving today depends on my future or past. And a lot of people actually say it depends on the past.
Okay.
What people
Okay.
need to understand is the way we are behaving today does not depend on our past. It depends on how we envision the future.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
extremely crucial for everybody to understand, because 99% of people in the world will tell you my today's behavior is because of my past. It is not. It is
Okay.
because of how you think about the future. I'll give you an example here. Let us
Yeah.
say you have a great proposal and you approach an important person and your proposal gets rejected and you feel upset about it. Second time, again, have a great idea. You go to the same person, again, it's rejected. Now, the third time when you get a great idea, do you think your mind will say go or don't go? There
Don't
is a
go.
high chance your mind will say don't go.
Don't
Now,
go.
if I
Right.
ask this person, you didn't go because of the future
Your
or
past.
past, people will say because of my past. And my answer
Past.
is not because of your past. You did not go because you assumed future is equivalent to past.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
assume that this person is going to reject again. How do you know? He rejected 2 times in the past. So for a
Right.
lot of people, past is equal to future, which is not the case for people who learn from the past. So if I have learned from the past and I am excited about implementing something in the future, and if I feel the future is going to be successful, I will be motivated in the present. Now, why am I talking about this? Because the master question for all of you today is, how are you envisioning your future post COVID at this point of time? And that has a direct control on your today's behavior. And your today's
True.
behavior is going to create your future. Unfortunately,
Absolutely.
you will find a lot of people in WhatsApp groups. Everybody is envisioning the future to be dull and dark. In fact, I have seen some groups where they are also predicting that 2021 is not going to be great.
Exactly.
And with that kind of a vision of the future, motivation in the present moment is impossible. And if there is no motivation in the present moment, we cannot create a breakthrough in the future. So, for example, people have asked me, Harish, your major profession has been doing mass scale sessions for corporates live, and right now you're at home. How do you see the future, and how do you see, especially the future, when you know mass gathering will not be allowed for the next few moments or few months or few, probably, I don't know, maybe at least for a few weeks? My simple answer is I am tremendously excited about the future because the entire breakdown has given me an opportunity to connect with more people through digital platform. I've never
Wow.
been doing webinars. I've always
Right now,
believed.
100 people are watching in our platform, directly live from different platform all around the world. So as you have said, the digital platform will give us the leverage to connect more people at the same time. Yes, please.
Absolutely. So I can see that if I work on the digital platform today, and when the COVID phase ends, I will not only be doing my live sessions, I will also be doing my digital platforms, which means I can already see that my future is going to be extremely better than how the past was. The past was also good. However, the future is going to be better. Now, if this is the kind of vision that you have about the future, you will be motivated in the present and you will keep working on things which will create an amazing future. So there are two components that we need here. One, the way you think about the future has to be positive and inspiring. And second, you must be taking actions in the present moment so that you can convert the disruption into breakthrough possibilities for you in the future. If you take care of these two things, you have a magnanimous future awaiting for you.
Amazing. One most important thing we have learned, like, we need to focus on the future, and our action will directly convert with this vision. That is how
Absolutely.
we can easily say to our audience. And
Absolutely.
as most of our audience are like Bangla speaking people, so I can speak both English and Bangla. You can speak in English and Hindi as well, so like they can also understand Hindi quite well. So it's up to you, like how we can communicate with our audience. The
Definitely,
main
definitely.
idea is to inspire them. And one thing I have watched in your live day before yesterday, I guess, like it's a tunnel, a light in the tunnel, what you are
Yes,
watching,
yes.
like why we are going. Can you share this story with our audience, the tunnel story?
So I have recently started a series called as Little Doses of Enlightenment. So I thought maybe a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every evening, 7 or 7:30 Indian Standard Time, I'll just come and I'll talk for 10 minutes on various topics. I've written about 320 quotes, which are my own quotes. So I thought, why don't I pick up each quote and elaborate it? So the quote that I picked up, the one that you were sharing, is, if the eyes and the mind can see it, the body does not require external motivation to get motivated. And it's
Right.
exactly the topic that we were talking about. And I'm sure that's why, Imran, you bought in this particular quote, because it's very relevant
True.
to what we're talking about.
Very relevant.
So I was giving an example that if you're walking probably in a jungle and you come across a path which is extremely dark and you can't see anything, would your body be comfortable moving in that direction? The answer is no. Why? Because the
No.
eye cannot see it. The mind cannot envision what could be beyond it. But even if there is a small ray of light, our body and mind is comfortable moving in that direction. Now, this ray of light could be a ray of light of hope, a ray
Right.
of light of possibility, a ray of life, of an exciting strategy that you can implement. And if that ray of hope and possibility is there, the body is extremely motivated to move in that direction. In fact,
Right.
I was sharing an example because countries like yours, Bangladesh and India, we have fought for freedom. So we have seen that there were a lot of freedom fighters, and some of them exhibited unimaginable level of strength in the body, and they were not muscular. They were probably thin, and their passion and their vision for the country was so much that their body could go beyond a third degree level of torture also. Like
Right.
history says, if I talk about the Indian story, a freedom fighter by the name of Bhagat Singh, the history says he lived without food for 100 days. And I'm sure a lot of stories are there in a lot of countries.
In Bangladesh, yes, yes.
Humanly impossible. But if I look at it from the perspective of what we were talking about, because his mind could envision freedom, there was a certainty of freedom that was there in his mind, that freedom is going to come no matter what, and I can see it. The body could take in a torture that humanly others cannot even imagine.
Exactly.
So the point is, if you and I can envision a great future in terms of our business, in terms of our career, in terms of our relationship, in terms of our health, in terms of our life, even though there will be an economic breakdown or a slowdown, we will still rise and shine in the midst of the entire crisis. And history has enough stories of people who have risen no matter how, no matter what kind of crisis they were. So it's
Exactly.
time for us to shine like some of these champions.
Exactly. As you have said it earlier about the Bhagat Singh story, like he was like tortured for 100 days without food. Like no one can even imagine like he would survive. The same story goes with our present status. Like if we can imagine ourselves, like we can survive for next few months or next few days without concern about the present issue, our mind will go for the future. That's what we are focusing all about, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And regardless of our nationality, our caste, our religion,
And the
the
culture.
COVID phase has seriously brought in an opportunity for spiritual growth. When I say spiritual growth, life growth. Like even everybody got an opportunity to introspect on their own life, introspect on how they've been spending their money, introspect on how they've been dealing in their relationships. Like because I was doing excellent, I would also be spending, I'm not somebody who would splurge, but I would be spending. But this entire COVID period gave me an opportunity to really relook at the way I've been spending money. And I realized that there are certain areas which can completely be avoided also. Such opportunities wouldn't have come in without a COVID period. So I think
True.
so in short, if you look at it, in the entire COVID period, the one thing that I would like to tell everybody is the entire planet is rejuvenating.
Right.
Our planet is also made of 5 elements. Our body is also made of 5 elements. If the planet is rejuvenating, I think we also should get rejuvenated in this period so that in some time, the planet as well as we emerge much more beautifully and much more powerfully.
So true. So true. And the most important thing, what we are finding is to divert our mindset with all those traumatic kinds of news. Like right now, what we have find in every single media and every
Yeah.
single information sources, like they are more focused into the number. Like this sort of people, this sort of number of people affected in 24 hours, and this number of people are died. If you can see in US and UK, the number goes into like thousands in every single day, which is pretty alarming, and that makes our mind pretty nervous and pretty panicked. And that is one of the most important thing to make ourselves into like to decrease our immunity system. And immunity system is the most important thing right now to fight against the COVID. Do you agree with me in that?
Absolutely. The one thing that also people should keep in mind is when we talk about immunity, there is an immunity at a level of body. There is also immunity at a level of mind and at a level of emotions. So we
Absolutely.
need immunity at all three levels, which is extremely crucial.
Right.
Also, I would request all of you, first, point number one, we are not in a state, or we should never blame the media or social media, because they are doing their job. But at
Right.
the same time, we are in a very tricky phase, because on one hand, we must know what is happening. And on the other hand, we must not get hypnotized with what is happening. What do I mean by
Exactly.
that? For example, is it important for me to know what's happening in my city? What is the count at this point of time? Yes, it's extremely crucial. But if I keep watching this news again and again and again and again on news, and if I keep repeating it, one should understand that repetition produces a hypnotic effect in our brain. So what happens is, whatever you're seeing and hearing gets magnified completely. So if you keep looking at these data on a regular basis, you will get hypnotized. And once you get hypnotized, your emotions can become negative more easily. You can become more fearful easily. You can start looking at future in a negative way more easily. And that all is going to spoil the immune system mentally and emotionally. So I would rather suggest, watch the news, don't watch it too often. In fact, spend more and more time watching inspiring videos, inspiring movies. Watch a lot of videos, like, if at all right now, if our conversation is giving you insights, get
Right.
involved in things like this, so that if this hypnotizes you also, we know it's only going to give us benefits.
Absolutely. And this is the whole idea of this show, is to spread the inspirations. And like
Absolutely.
we are encouraging our audience to share this content. Like right now in this world, we are in lack of the good contents, the contents which will motivate you. Right now, what contents we are finding into WhatsApp and other social media, it's pretty alarming. And as WHO said, like don't watch TV or news twice in a day. Spend your times with your family and give them more time.
Absolutely.
And in our last show, we have invited a doctor, a mental health specialist. He was pretty concerned about the post pandemic. uh, 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 this particular term is called like post traumatic stress syndrome, PTSD.
Mhm.
Like after this pandemic or after this stress, we have a disorder in our mind. Like we are going pretty aggressive amongst our family. We are pretty much we are acting abnormal due to spending more time in our home. So how we can distract our mind, or how we can avoid this kind of colliding or like misguiding kind of elements, uh, practicing some tips and tricks. Do you have any kinds of tips for those people, like those who are facing it
Definitely.
right now? Yeah.
Can I give an elaborate answer here? Is it okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Please go on.
So, I would like to tell all the viewers here, during such periods, or in fact, any phase of your life, there are few things that you can do to ensure that the impact of the challenge is not to its optimum level in a negative way. So, a threefold approach is what I would predominantly talk about. Point number one, I would like all of them over here, to have a practice for the morning, a practice before they go off to sleep, and certain things to be aware during the entire day. If one takes care of these three things, there is a high chance you will not get impacted negatively. Rather, you will emerge in a much more stronger way. So, point number one, what are some of the morning practices? Rule number one, when you get up in the morning, it doesn't matter whether it's 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning, ensure that the first thing that happens is not where your hand straight away goes to your mobile phone and you switch on the WhatsApp to check your messages. That should not be the first thing you do in the morning. And the reason behind it is, when you open your eyes in the morning, you are in a natural subconscious state. That little drowsy state is a state where you're not completely conscious, neither are you unconscious, and hence it is called subconscious. So the first thing in the morning, what you see, what you hear, what you feel directly goes into your subconscious mind. So if the first thing that you do as an autopilot mode is switch on your phone and look at your WhatsApp messages, my assumption is what you see on WhatsApp is not inspiring you in the morning hours. So rule number one, the only thing or the only reason why your hand should touch your phone in the morning is to switch off your alarm if your phone is the medium of alarm. As soon as you open your eyes, repeat positive statements as many times as you can for about 4 to 5 minutes. Statements like, today is a great day, life is beautiful, my life is amazing, I choose to create a beautiful day, I express positive emotions and I spread positive emotions. Make it a habit to repeat these things. I'm sure all of you agree. When we open our eyes in the morning, it's another opportunity that the universe has given us. And whether COVID or no COVID, I always tell people there is no guarantee about life. How many of you knew, even on a normal day, non-COVID phase, every night, thousands of people pass away in the world? That means they told their family members that, see you in the morning, but that morning never came. So there is no guarantee about life, which means if you and I open our eyes in the morning, it's an opportunity for us to become better in every area of our life. You can be a better father, a better mother, a better child, a better employee, a better employer, a better leader. In short, a better human being. So if you remind yourself of this fact that if you've opened your eyes, it's another great opportunity and you start your day with these things, it's a great practice. COVID or no COVID doesn't matter. It's a great practice. The next thing that I would request people to do is invest a little bit of time for your body and mind. You have a tremendous opportunity to start exercising your body. I always say your body is a divine gift, and you must respect it by taking care of it. So taking a little bit of steam inhalation, because that's very good in the current phase, having a glass of warm water, or infuse it with garlic, boil it and have it. Garlic water, excellent remedy for removing certain infections. Don't misunderstand, I'm not saying this removes COVID. The experts know it. Having warm water and then exercising your body for at least half an hour. This is a great morning practice to strengthen your body, mind, and emotions.
Right.
The next, before you go off to sleep again, the last few minutes before you sleep is also called as a hypnotic or a subconscious state. And hence, the last few minutes, do not watch anything negative on media or social media. If you want to watch TV or social media, it has to be inspiring or at least things which make you laugh. Switch off your internet connection before you go to sleep, because your internet connection interferes with the quality of your sleep, and the quality of your sleep, if it's not proper, has a direct effect on your immune system. So you need to sleep well. Switch off your internet, whether it's Wi-Fi or mobile data. And once again, while you're about to sleep, repeat positive statements. Feel absolutely grateful for the entire day and the initiatives that you've taken. This is the only reason all religions have mentioned, say the name of God or say the name of Allah before you go to sleep and after you get up in the morning. Why? Because these two phases are hypnotic phases, and whatever you repeat goes directly into your subconscious mind. During the entire day, while you work, while you do your regular activities, the one thing that I would like all of you to keep in mind is keep a tap on your emotions, because your emotions are like the seeds that you sow in the most fertile land ever available, called as your subconscious mind. Whatever you sow will definitely show up. That is the only reason, I'm sure all of you have experienced, if you are in an irritable mode, more things will happen which will get you irritated. I don't know how many of you notice, if you get up in a bad mood, sometimes the entire day goes bad, not realizing because we are the ones who are sowing the seeds. So am I saying you have to keep a tap on it throughout the entire day? No. I am saying be aware whenever you get irritated or frustrated, be smart enough. And if required, don't misunderstand my word, be selfish enough to know that if you remain angry, it is going to create more instances which will get you angry. So selfishly come out of that emotion by watching an inspiring video or cracking a joke or playing with your kid and change your emotions. And every
Right.
evening, invest 10 minutes in introspecting on how your day was. Did
Right.
you spend more time getting inspired? Did you spend more time laughing? Did you spend more time being in an excited mode? Did you spend more time getting irritated, frustrated? And that introspection should tell you how your past was so that you ensure that your future, which is tomorrow, is better than today. If this is the approach,
Wow.
mind, body, emotions, you will master all of them.
I totally agree with this, and like this is the way we should, or we all should practice. And let's take some questions from our audience right now. Like hundreds of people are watching live into different part of the world. We are viewers from Australia, Canada, USA, UK, UAE,
Wonderful.
Oman, and other part of our NRB people.
Beautiful.
All of them are watching.
With all
And
of them.
like one of the question I should take, it's an appreciation from one of our audience. Like, hello, I think you are speaking, your art of speaking is really joyful. I'm really amazed to see how you are managing your speech. Great to see you in Inspiring Bangladesh. We
Thank
have a
you.
comment from the Australian High Commission in Bangladesh. Good to be here. And other questions, like one other questions I need to ask you about, like, who is your inspiration? Being a life coach, the way HSR is right now in the world, like who is your inspiration, or who inspired you behind this journey?
I would rather say, and I'm not saying for the sake of saying it in a session like this, and it took me quite a lot of years and a part of my entire life to understand this. Everything around me, every challenging person in my life, every beautiful human being in my life has been a source of inspiration and has been the reason of my growth in life. Because if I look at my entire past, all challenging people in my life made me think about what life is all about. And just to give you, I don't want to get deeper into it. Few years back, if I talk about 2001, 2, 3, 4, or 2000 till 2004, I was a person who was extremely negative, with suicidal tendencies, and got married and almost was on the verge of divorce, extremely frustrated with work, hated some of my family members. And today I would say I'm living a joyful life and with a lot of love with all of these people. So I would say all of them have inspired. And I've realized that every person has been placed in your life so that you are able to live your life completely. Now, for any
Wow.
individual to live life completely, you cannot only have lovely people around you. If you have all only lovely people, you will never understand how to face challenges. And that's
Yes.
why you will be given people who will jolt you, who will challenge you, who will make you think, why did I even attract a person like this? But trust me, these are the people who make you strong. And they may not be even aware of it. They are also playing a role ignorantly at times. But
So true.
sometimes there are people who play a role of a villain in your life so that you shine like a hero.
True.
So I think all events have been inspiring me. The only thing is I've been thinking about people. I'm not saying that I only have positive things happening. There are times when I have arguments. There are times when I have things which don't work. But then it makes me think, why did I attract it and what can I learn from it? Because if I don't learn from my problem today, a similar problem in the future will still be a problem for me. But if I learn from my problem today, tomorrow that will no longer be a problem for me. So another important learning for
True.
people here is, if you see repeated problems in your life, that means you're not learning from it. And universe will keep giving you the problem till the time you learn from it. For example, it's like an exam. If you're given 9th standard exam paper and you fail in it, it will again give you 9th only. If you fail in it, again it will give you 9th. So if somebody will come to a coach like me saying, Harish, why am I getting 9th again and again? My simple answer is, you're failing in it. And once you crack the 9th, problem is not resolved, because now you're given the 10th standard paper. However, you will be joyfully attending 10th, because if you've handled the 9th effectively, you know the 10th is only here to make you stronger. At the same time,
Right.
I have learned from a lot of people. I've had a lot of teachers in my life. I have not followed anyone blindly. And I always tell people, don't follow anyone blindly and don't reject anyone blindly. You can learn from anyone. When you become blind, when you become a blind follower, you miss out on other possibilities. When you blindly reject anything, you miss out on the possibilities in that particular stuff. So I am perfectly okay to attend any session, learn from other people. And even people who follow me, I would always tell them, learn from others also. I would never say, just have one teacher and follow me. No. Life has a tremendous amount of inspiration. Life has so many beautiful people and challenging people. Learn from all of them, but ensure you bring back the story to your life.
Wow.
Everything, and this is of course difficult to accept at times, everything happening outside you is a projection of your inner world. In short, I tell people, the outer world is a printout of your inner commands. So if the printout is not looking the way you want, the commands have to really change. And if we change our inner commands, the outer printout will obviously be beautiful enough.
Some questions. Like, there are so many questions. One question is from Mr. Mustafizur Rahman Tushar. Inspirations, like I will portray in the screen. Like, inspiration do have so many folds. What inspired most in your life? What inspired you most in your life? Like, this is the questions from Mr. Tushar.
What inspired me
You
in my life
most.
predominantly is the realization that my life and every life has been chosen to play a magnanimous role. And this has happened as various pockets in my life, and it will continue to happen. So there was not one moment which was the most inspiring. It's various moments in life which actually have told me that you've got to live your life in a magnanimous way. When I say magnanimous, it is not becoming the richest person in the world. It is not necessary. Like, one can be an employee with an average salary, but with a joyful way of living. So one thing that has definitely, a philosophy that has really inspired me in my life is, be happy, not satisfied. And this can
Wow.
confuse some people. This can confuse some people because a lot of people assume that happiness and satisfaction are the same or they go hand in hand. But I have realized they don't go hand in hand. They are two different emotions. Now, let me explain. Why should I be happy? Because I should be happy with whatever I have in my life. I should be happy that every day when I open my eyes, I am alive. I can be happy with whatever I have in my life. And I should not get satisfied because I know as a life, I can do much more. And if I can do much more, why should I settle here? However, my journey is going to be joyful. That means every day I'm going to be happy. And every day I will think about what else is a possibility. Now, the beauty of this philosophy is, even if I die between in the journey, I died happy. This is
Amazing.
important.
And this
So,
is so deep. Yeah.
absolutely,
We never think in that way. Come on. Yeah.
and that's why that concept, that realization, and that experience has been an absolutely inspiring moment. So I keep reminding, of course, myself that I am happy with what I have, but at the same time, I know I can do more. And it's not about doing more just for me. For example, I can do more sessions to make other people positive. Like I've
Right.
recently started doing Stay Strong, Stay Positive, a session of mine. I used to charge, and now I said I'm going to do this free. And for all of you who are also listening, and with, of course, Imran's permission, I am like the talk that I am doing right now. It can be converted also into a webinar. And if you are a part of a group, if you are a part of an organization, if you would like me to do this session absolutely free of cost because the current times is challenging, it'll be a pleasure to do it absolutely free of cost for your team, for
Definitely.
your family, for your organization. You just have to get in touch
Definitely.
with me, and it'll be a pleasure to do it for all of you.
Absolutely. And we are also planning something like this for our audience. And like as we are saying, like the most of the audience right now, those who are watching live are youth. They are in the age of 20 to 35, the maximum age number of people, those who are watching. Few of them are asking questions. One of them, like recently, he is jobless. So the main like what he's trying to ask in Bangla, like what should be the motivation to keep him to keep him updated or keep him motivated or inspired to set himself for the future. Like what should be the like strategy for him as he is jobless right now, how he can deal this situation in this present moment.
Okay. So, a lot of people have lost their jobs, and
Right.
there is a possibility that a lot of them will lose their job because certain industries, certain organizations will collapse. Now, extremely important, let's look at reality. So, I don't want people to hallucinate or create fantasies about a lot of things, but the reality right now for people who've lost a job is yes, you've lost a job. Is it a challenge? Absolutely yes. Is it going to put in fear of uncertainty? Absolutely yes. So, what is it that one needs to keep in mind? The one thing or multiple fold approach, the first thing that I would say is do not stop your learning journey even when you've lost your job. In fact, the learning should get amplified. Learning in terms of your skill set, your development, your emotional strength, your mental strength, your physical strength, all that must continue. In fact, you must do it even more. So during this phase, I would rather say start reading more, build more skills which are timeless in nature. What do I mean by that? There are certain skills, whether it is today or tomorrow, it's going to be timeless. For example, the way you speak, your communication, whether it is digital, whether it is in person, the way you express and the way you communicate is a timeless skill, and you can always develop on it. You can develop on that. Next, during such phases, see, whenever you lose a job, it is important to understand that jobs don't create a person shines in a job. I always tell people, you need not be dependent on certain things. If you have a great idea, you probably can come up with an idea where you not only employ yourself, you could probably be in a position to employ few people in the coming days. However, you first need to believe in it and then start working towards it. A point of caution: do not speak to people whom you know always think about what is not possible. And I'm sure all of you know there are such people in this world, and some of you would know them personally. You tell them any creative idea, and they will give you 10 reasons why this will fail. You don't need such people in this current phase. You have to speak more and more to people who boost your idea. So, point number one, continue your learning journey and keep upgrading on your skill sets, which are timeless. Point number two, look at the possibilities that exist right now and the skills and strengths that you have, which you can capitalize on. Remember one thing: if you want to shine in your life, what you need is something that you can offer, which can add value to people. And the second thing that you need is people. And if you look at the world population, there is no scarcity of people. And if you look at your, which country is this person in?
He's from Bangladesh.
So if you look at countries like Bangladesh, and if I look at countries like India, we don't have scarcity of people. And people need information. They need things which will add their value. They need information. They need entertainment. If you can offer anything that can add value, you never know, you probably would be creating your own startup.
So
So it
true.
is going to be a breakthrough for you.
Like, and this is the era of entrepreneurship, and the government is promoting entrepreneurship, and they are offering different kinds of online courses, which is absolutely free for those who want to be an entrepreneur. and and
Beautiful.
and and the people, those who are watching us live, we will share different links for different online courses, which is absolutely free, and that will add value in your future life, and that will enhance your skill set. At the same time, it can be sellable for the future. We are
Absolutely.
already 45 minutes past, with our conversation. This
Can
is
I
so
share a
amazing.
point here for the youngsters?
Yeah, sure. We will continue, like, how long people are watching
Okay.
this right
Okay.
now, and there are different other questions as well. Like,
Sure.
most of the questions are regarding mindset, like to have a motivated mindset, and how they can, like, divert their mindset, or convert their mindset into more productivity and more resourced at the same time. Like, what are the things they can do, or like any practice they should do in every single day to enhance their to, like, divert their mindset with any other negativity right now.
Okay. So first and the most important point in this question, because this is a question that a lot of people ask. See, a temporary solution is to divert your mindset.
True.
A permanent solution is to jump into the problem and don't divert your mind, face your problem and resolve it by being in the problem. For example, if I get irritated on something, a temporary solution is divert my mind, listen to a music, do something. And however, this is not solving the issue. So what I need to do is get into the problem once my mindset is a little okay and start working on it. Now, how do I create a positive mindset? As I said, there are few things, something that I've already mentioned: programming your mornings, programming your nights, 100% introspection time, 10 minutes a day. See, think about it. One of the most important quality, like, all our country has some of the other sports. How does a sports person improve his or her performance? A lot of people say practice. Practice comes in later, right? While they have to start looking at what is their strength, what is their weakness. Like today, if a sportsman is already into sports, the way they improve their performance is they always take a look at their current performance. They look at their past performance. They introspect on their past performance, and they do that introspection with their coach also. Now, these coach can also be in various formats, like Imran, like the kind of videos that you're offering for people can be an online coaching format for people. So
Sure.
with the coach, sit, introspect, and then in the introspection, you bring about the learning. Now, the learning has to be practiced so that it becomes an autopilot mode of performance. Please understand, when you learn any new thing, it takes 7 days minimum for the body and mind to overcome the initial resistance. It takes 21 days of everyday practice for the body and mind to get into a pattern or a state called neuro pathway creation, or in a layman's language, habit formation. And it takes 48 days to cover a cycle called as a cellular memory cycle or a mandala cycle. So any new gesture or a behavior, if it is practiced for 48 days, now remember again, it has to be 48 days of joyful practice, knowing it is important. If you do it out of compulsion, even 90 days is not going to work. So 48 days of consistent practice. Now this ensures that the new habit goes into your autopilot mode, and the mind, of course, becomes positive for a prolonged period of time. Once you practice this for 48 days, let me promise you one thing: becoming negative will become very difficult for you, and remaining positive will become very easy for you. The reason is,
Great.
Whatever we practice, we become good at it. I'm sure all of you will agree on this. Now, it does not matter whether you're practicing consciously or subconsciously, we become good at it. Like some people practice criticism so many times a day that they become a master of criticism. Now, anywhere you take them, they can criticize very easily. So, what they need to do is look at the changes that they need to bring in, implement that changes, have a milestone of 21 days and hit a 48 days. And by the 48th day, you will be a much stronger person. Apart from that, few more practices that one will have to do for a powerful mindset is be extremely aware of the kind of people you spend time with. A lot of times, our mindset is a culmination of the mindsets that you spend a lot of time with. If you spend a lot of time with negative people and people who are cribbing and complaining, there is a high chance your negativity will naturally go higher. Does that mean you can completely avoid them? Answer is no, because sometimes the negative person is somebody whom we love and somebody who is a part of our family. So you can't avoid them. So wherever you can't avoid them, the only option is influence them. But to influence them, you need to be in the right state of body and mind. So make a list of people whom you think have the potential to inspire you, and during challenging phases, make it a rule to speak to some of them at least for 5 to 10 minutes every day. And if that person doesn't have a lot of time, you need to have 20 people in the list. Now, this is only required till the time you have a vacuum inside you. When I say vacuum, there are times when you feel irritated, frustrated, lonely, helpless. That means there is a vacuum. And let's look at physics. What does a vacuum do? It sucks the outside environment. So when you have a vacuum inside you, be very careful of the kind of people you talk and spend time with, because you tend to suck the energy. The day you become absolutely positive, don't worry about spending time with negative people also, because you will not suck their energy. Rather, you will radiate your positivity and change their state of body, mind, emotion. Apart from that, of course, there are various practices. You all can visit even my website, which is harishsairaman.com.
Sairaman.
I can share that with you. There are
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
we
of
will share.
programming audios which you can use.
Right,
And
right.
feel free to text me. I'm just a
Yeah, yeah,
phone.
yeah. Exactly. Like we are coming into the end of our discussions, and like I have two questions more to ask.
Yes.
Like one question is like we are some of our audience are looking for different kinds of meditation program, and we are planning to launch a webinar on NLP, like NLP, and we are planning for a customized NLP program for our audience. If you can share some plan, like if we can introduce some NLP programs for our audience, those who are watching, and we can in collaboration we can initiate a certification program for them as well. If everyone asks, or we can get a good number of response. So can you please share some basics of NLP and NLP? Those I'm an NLP practitioner, and like right now at this moment, NLP can play a big role to divert our mind. So can you share some basics of NLP so that people can start practicing right at this moment, sitting at their home?
Okay. So, so NLP is a course which is usually done as a 5-day program, which is the foundation course, and a 7-day program, which is an advanced course, and another 7-day, which can be a trainer's course. And we are talking about encapsulating a gist of it in 2 minutes. So, but the good thing about it is NLP is nothing but the way our brain functions. Because if we just divide the word, NLP is neuro linguistic programming, which only means neuro means how your mind is functioning. It is important to know how our mind functions. Linguistic, you need to understand the language of the mind. And can you program your mind using certain languages? And can you observe languages of people which can give you a view of their own mindset? And of course, the word programming says, can you integrate all of them to program your entire mind? Answer is obviously yes. So NLP, though it's been quite a few years that it's come into play, it is also a science that has been there since ages. And being a hypnotherapist, I can also say elements of hypnotherapy are also there in NLP. So NLP, of course, there are various methods which really teaches us how to program our entire mind. A small thing that I would like to share, of course, is one of the concepts of NLP talks about how the brain really stores information. Like, how many of you know when your emotions are high, the impact of it on your body is extremely high? What do I mean by that? How many of you know when you dream in the night, your dreams are perceived to be as good as real? And that is why when you're dreaming in the night, your brain cannot differentiate between reality and imagination. That is why if you have a nightmare and you open your eyes, you suddenly feel as if the entire dream was real. Your heartbeat is fast, the palpitation is just running like an express train, probably have cold sweats. The body has perceived it to be real. Now, NLP also understood dreams are real for the body because it is seen in an associated format. When I say associated format, there are two ways of visualizing anything. One is disassociated, the other is called associated. Disassociated means it's a imagination where you can see yourself. Imagine if I tell you, imagine that you're walking in a garden. Now, if you see yourself walking in the garden, this is disassociated because in reality, you cannot see yourself. In reality, you will see the garden. You will see your hands. You can see your legs, but you can't see yourself in a remote way. It's like you are the actor and you're watching yourself on the screen. When you're watching yourself on the screen, emotions are not very high. When emotions are high, it brings about changes instantly in the body and mind. If you feel it's real, like in a dream, if dogs are chasing you, you don't see that you are running and dogs are chasing you. You will actually see that you are running and you see the path in front and you can see behind the dogs are there. That is why it is alive. So how do we use this? People tend to remember their negative past memory in an associated way, and that is why an old past is still alive in their body and mind, and that tortures their body and mind. And people who live in the past can't see the beauty of the present and can't explore the possibility of the future. That is why
Amazing.
some people say, Harish, when I close my eyes, I can still remember how that man hit me, or when my father shouted at. It is so alive. So what you need to do with negative memories is disassociate it. So next time when you think about that memory or when that memory comes, close your eyes and just disassociate. See that you are sitting there, father is there, father is shouting at you, and now make that entire scene in a black and white way. The more colorful it is, the more alive it is for the brain. So when you make it black and white, do it 2-3 times, and now open your eyes and then think about the sad memory, and you will see the emotions are no longer coming as intense as it was. Similarly,
Amazing.
when you imagine your futuristic goal, for example, you want to imagine that you are very confident, you're starting your business, you are dynamic, and people are appreciating you. Now, don't imagine in a disassociate. Don't see yourself on the stage and people clapping for you. You see you are on the stage and people are clapped. So, which means it's as alive as possible. And when you do such visualizations, it can bring in a chemical change overnight. For example, if I ask you to squeeze a lemon in your, imagine that you have a lemon in your hand and squeeze it in your mouth. Just imagine. Of course, this is a webinar and I can't see how many of them are doing it, but do it. Imagine you're squeezing a lemon in your mouth and it's all sour and very sour in the teeth and the tongue. And open your eyes. Now, all of you who did this properly, you will see extra saliva in your mouth, which means there was a chemical change in your body. Was there really lemon? No. But because you imagined it in the associated mode, brain perceived it to be real and started bringing chemical changes in the body.
Right.
Now, If you can imagine these, that is the principle behind a phrase where people say, fake it till you make it. However, that has to be backed up with strategies also. So if you can imagine in the associated mode the positive things, you can imagine instant chemical changes. Of course, what I shared right now is a tool, is a modality which you can use for
Right.
dissolving negative and to intensify positive, and it is only a 0.1% of what NLP can really do. Using
Exactly. It's
NLP,
just a glimpse. Not even a
absolutely.
glimpse. It's just a
Using
like
NLP,
five.
you can program your future, you can intensify your positive emotions, you can ensure that your past doesn't affect you anymore, you can bring in emotions and stack up emotions which you can use, and like a dynamite, you can explode with positivity in your life. Of course, it's magnanimous in its possibilities. In my opinion, NLP is nothing but a tool that can help you live life in a much more optimum way.
Amazing. And one last question we need to take from our audience. So many people are watching live right now. One question is from an entrepreneur. He is working in a startup. He
Uh-huh.
asked, like, can you suggest how can I minimize the mental pressure during this pandemic and do my work more efficiently as I'm a digital product manager? It really needs to reflect my happiness and freshness on the team. Very important question he asked in this present situation.
I hope you already have some answers right now, because I've already spoken about the practices of the morning, I've already spoken about the practices of the evening, I've already spoken about what you need to do as introspection. Another thing that I would like you to do is, before you start your day or before you reach your workplace, or when I say reach your workplace, it could be just opening up your laptop. I would like you to close your eyes for 5 seconds and emphasize on your intention. Everything that we do in life has an intention behind it, but most of the time we are not conscious of our intentions. If you can remind yourself of your intentions, the body and mind will demonstrate magnanimous possibilities. For example, before I logged in into this session, before I and Imran started the conversation and went live, I gave an intention to myself that my intention is for the next few minutes, I have to demonstrate absolute liveness because I have a tremendous opportunity to connect with a lot of people. And if I can even bring about this much of shift in the life of any human being, this entire time is worthwhile, because everybody listening right now is giving a small part of their life to me and Imran in this session. So every day, if you can give this intention that being a startup, being an entrepreneur, my job is to add value to the lives of people who are associated with me as employees, or my product that I'm creating has to create an immense level of value to other people. When I say other, it can be few hundreds of people, thousands of people, and of course, the grace of God, and inshallah, you'll reach millions of people also. But start with an intention that I would like to give my best and I would like to think about adding value to the life of everyone who's connected with me. And I'm pretty sure this intention can create magnanimous possibilities for all of us. Of course, during the entire day, there are times when we might go off track with a challenge, with a crisis, with an irritation, with a problem. Whenever you feel that, my request is, don't try to force yourself hard at that time. Just take a 2 minute, 5 minute break. We all have experiences during examinations. If you're trying to think about an answer and if the answer is not coming, the harder you try, the more difficult it gets. But if you just say, okay, I'm just leaving it at this moment, the answer will come, because your mind has the potential of creating all positive things. Whenever you
Right.
feel stuck, just take a break, come back with the intention, and I'm sure you not only will eradicate the pressure in your head, you will rather be a medium of transferring the positivity to all those people who are connected with you.
So amazing. I think all of them who are watching live this podcast got their answer, and they are like inspired the way we are planning to inspire them, right? And this is how it works. And we believe like one share, if you share this podcast with your friends and families and your near and dear ones, it will create an impact towards their life. So we have initiated this program like one share, millions of inspiration. and,
Amazing.
and people will get a gift after this live session with maximum number of share of this podcast. We
Beautiful.
are coming at the end of this session. Any closing remarks in your mind to the audience of our country? And being a neighbor country, we are grateful to you, like as you are the first collaborator in this inspiring show. And we are really grateful with your presence and the way you inspired our people coming here live in this show. Your closing remarks, Harish Sairaman.
I think the only way I would like to close it, and I always say that in all my sessions, point number one, every life deserves to live joyfully. If it's not happening right now, you're just missing out on few things. So let's all stay connected, and I'm sure we can live an absolute joyful life. And remember, COVID or no COVID, there is no guarantee about life. Like, I hope to live for 100 years, but probably I don't even know whether I will be there tomorrow. And that's why I always look at every moment as an opportunity. You have given a part of your life to me, I have given a part of my life to you. And my closing remarks are, keep one goal in life, that till the time you are alive, your presence itself, just the way you live, should be a testimony of life for other people. Your presence itself should add joy and motivation and inspiration for other people. We all are connected. Of course, there are geographical borders, but remember, the earth does not belong to anyone. Somebody can say the US is this and India is this, and that's another country. But if you look at everything is in this planet, the planet does not belong to anyone. So you and I belong to the same family, of course. At least the ones who are here, we can understand that. Until the time we are connected, the power of collective consciousness can create tremendous amount of possibilities for all of us. And of course, I would hope to come back again and like the opportunity that Imran has given, and I'm sure he's doing a wonderful job. And many more people should be invited here, and we should inspire more and more people. With your permission, Imran, my Facebook group that I'm just created, it was not active, but now it's active. It's called as Living Joyfully with HSR. It's Harrish Sairaman, Living Joyfully with HSR. All of you
Right.
can connect, and I will keep doing a lot of sessions. And Imran, you've done a wonderful job. Thank you for this entire initiative. And I wish all of you to live a joyful life. And together, we can definitely make it happen. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm posting the group link in our comment box in different platform. Just check this is the right URL or not. Facebook.com/groups living joyful living joyfully with HSR. This is the URL. Just click the button and you just join with HSR with your Facebook profile.
I will approve it. Don't worry. I'm not going to check anything. You have to fill in 2 questions. I'll approve it.
Yeah,
I'll be doing regular sessions, and definitely I will come back here because
exactly.
I met Imran, and he is a man of his word. I must say that. I met him in December. We met at a particular session. And I remember he said, Harish, I will get you to Bangladesh. And then, of course, we were busy. He was busy and texted some time. And of course, me physically coming to Bangladesh did not happen. But he is a man of his word. He connected with me and he said, Harish, I want to get you here. And here it is, digitally right now, of course. And I'm sure very soon in person, it'll be a
Inshallah.
pleasure to come into your country, and we'll do a lot of work together. So you're
Yeah.
doing a wonderful job, Imran, and I hope
Thank you.
more. Please share, and I would definitely expect more and more people to connect with Imran's group,
Yeah.
and let's spread this completely. Let more people join in, and let's all live a joyful life.
Yeah, absolutely. And like as we said, like we believe in inspiration and we believe in collaboration. And this is the particular time where we should collaborate in more frequently into different contents. And as we said, like this is one world, and the way we should spread positivity, the way we can inspire people, it should be very impactful towards a better world, towards a better society. And with this note, we will end this amazing episode of the inspiring show Cholo Bangladesh. Cholo Bangladesh means in English, let's go Bangladesh. Let's go
You,
Bangladesh one more time, with the full spirit and the full plan, the way we planned pretty earlier before the COVID time. And we believe no matter in which country we are living in, we should bounce back in more stronger way. No matter what, no one can stop us. We will come back more strongly. But before that, you should stay at home, stay with your family, because we are facing an invisible enemy. We can't see them. The best way to face them is to staying at home, and stay with your family. And no matter what, keep yourself fit and healthy, so that you can see the future, you can see the morning tomorrow in a healthy way.
absolutely.
With this note, we are closing this uh, live station with amazing Harish Sairaman. Thanks
Thank you.
for your
Thank
amazing
you very much.
presence. It will be remembered, and we inshallah we will tag you one more time in coming days in a better way, in more people and more collaborative way, both our India and Bangladesh friends in this platform. Till
Thank you
then,
very much.
good night, and
Good night, all
inshallah
of
we will
you.
see
Lots
you.
of love. Thank you.
Yeah,
Take care.
lots of love from both India and Bangladesh. So hope to see you pretty soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.